Q2, the legacy of language.
To be a true Crow Indian, you have to speak that language.
We'll introduce you to the Crow woman who played a role in a popular show. Plus, a Republican rally touches down. Details on the U.S. House Speaker arriving in the Magic City and free cuts in the park.
It's just a whole lot of people's hearts came together over this event.
Honoring the memory of the one who started it all. The MTN 430 News begins right now. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Hailey Monaco. A host of notable Montana Republicans are in Billings today for a rally with U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson. Johnson will be the keynote speaker at the rally happening now at the Billings Airport. Greg Gianforte, Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke, and Eastern District congressional candidate Troy Downing will also be in attendance. Johnson took over as House Speaker after Kevin McCarthy was voted out last fall. Zinke has brought several high-profile Republicans to the state this past week, including U.S. Representatives Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise, and now Johnson. Not present at the rally, Republican Senate hopeful Tim Sheehy, but it's still a race many are keeping their sights set to as the Senate race in Montana has garnered national attention. And many political experts believe the winning party in the Treasure State will be in the driver's seat to take majority control of the chamber. An RMG research poll of registered voters found that Democrat Senator Jon Tester currently holds a narrow lead of 49% to 44% over Sheehy, while a poll from American Pulse shows a vastly different story, with Sheehy favored at 51% to 45% for Tester. Between now and Election Day, you will hear a lot about polling just like that. But what should you really look for in a poll, and can you trust them? Joe St. George breaks down what you should pay attention to when the next poll pops up on your screen.
Let's start by explaining how a poll typically gets done. Media companies, nonprofits, academic institutions, and of course campaigns will often pay a professional firm to conduct a poll. Polls can cost thousands, or in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars. They can be conducted on the phone, like a landline, or by calling cell phones. Polls are increasingly using the internet to reach people too.
Pollsters used to be able to count on a lot of people responding to polls. That's changed. We now see less of a response rate.
Professor Andy Crosby studies how polls are conducted at the University of California, Riverside. What is his advice to people wanting to know more about polling? He says familiarize yourself with more than just the headline. Take, for instance, this poll. The headline shows Vice President Harris leading former President Trump on the issue of the economy. But note the margin of error. It's often listed much smaller than this on screen. The margin of error of plus or minus 3.1% means it's mathematically possible that Trump is actually leading. A margin of error exists in every poll because pollsters aren't surveying every American.
3% is common, 5%, 6% margin of error. Then you're less confident in those results.
Another big number to look for is the sample size. How many people were actually surveyed? Crosby says it may not always be listed on a fancy graphic. For this Harris-Trump poll by the Financial Times and the University of Michigan, you'll find it on the specific poll's full report listed online. Many pollsters publish a lengthy PDF document with more detailed information about their poll. Here it is listed in the top right corner.
I see 1,000 people on this poll, approximately 1,000 people. That's good.
Anything less than that, Crosby says, should be viewed with a bit more skepticism. Speaking of skepticism, always be on the lookout for companies who have worked on the poll.
If you see a poll that's only funded by a Democratic pollster or only by a Republican pollster, you may say, maybe we want to use some caution on that.
Polls that randomly select people are always the best, Crosby says, and diversity is important too. Confirming if a poll is legit or not, though, isn't always easy. To find out how the New York Times and Siena College recently conducted their poll, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of a very lengthy data document. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
The Crow language is considered definitely endangered by the United Nations, but the creative team behind the show, Yellowstone 1923, have worked to incorporate accuracy into the piece. Our Marcus Kakova met with the Crow woman who worked on scripting the language into the show, who says she hopes her work will bring it back from the edge of extinction.
Sapdiala. That means, what are you doing? Sapdiala.
Sapdiala.
Sapdela.
Sapdela.
Your accent needs to change a little bit. Sapdela.
Sapdela.
A hardened public school educator, 3-time breast cancer survivor, and renowned crow beater, Bertie Riobird is no stranger to the camera.
I'm just another Crow Indian.
But she's also pivotal in keeping her people's language alive.
My niece said they needed an older woman in the background. So I had to leave Crow Fair that year, a couple years ago, to go work for 1923.
We have members of the tribe who make sure that what we're portraying is authentic.
Bertie's responsible for the Crow language featured in the show 1923, a language labeled definitively endangered by the United Nations with only around 4,000 speakers in the world.
I took the script, read it, and then I wrote it in Crow, and then I recorded it. They have memorized their part, but the accent is off. So then we practice for about 3 days.
Across Montana, Texas, and California, Bertie not only writes the language for television, but ensures its accuracy when spoken.
You say it slowly. It's a sort of you can't, like English, you can say it very fast. If you want to speak Crow fast, it's all a mumble jumble.
But alongside her work, she admits, the gig comes with perks.
Everybody treats me like an elder when I'm there because the actors are so young. They want to hold on to me when I'm walking and everything.
Most importantly, however, she says she hopes her language being heard will inspire those younger to love their language, keep it alive, and fall back on it when they feel estranged to the rest of the world.
You feel like you're alone. You don't really fit in anywhere. I held on tight to that. Just think, it took me on all these trips because I'm a Crow speaker.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
Tonight, a portion of our 5:30 newscast will come from the Crow Fair. More stories, sights, and sounds. Q2's Diane Parker will be telling you all about it.
On this Friday afternoon, for most of us, a lot of sunshine, not quite as much haze. We have had some isolated showers and thunderstorms trying to pop up, but many of us are not going to get a single solitary raindrop out of it. So I'm keeping my eyes on some other changes to our forecast. Tonight, we're going to have a gradual reduction in those clouds. The showers are going to go to bed. Tomorrow, sunshine, haze, and heat for us on Saturday. And on Sunday, increasing clouds and isolated showers and thunderstorms. Our 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
An Ohio woman has been identified as the alleged Wrongway driver in a vehicle collision on I-90 near Livingston that left a Bozeman woman in critical condition. 53-year-old Jennifer Lager-Furman was driving east in the westbound lanes on July 10th when her Subaru Crosstrek collided with 23-year-old Hailey Monaco's Ford Bronco. According to court documents, police say Furman's blood alcohol content was .279. 3.5 times the legal limit. She is facing 2 felony counts with an initial court appearance set for October 1st. South Park was buzzing as free haircuts were given out all day today to anyone that needed it. While this was a good cause, it also served as a 3-year anniversary of the death of the barber who started his own tradition years ago. Our Isabel Sparts met up with them at the park.
For many, a free haircut can really turn around their day, and that's what happened Friday afternoon here at South Park. And it was all done to honor someone who made it their life mission to do the same. It's like a blessing.
Yeah,
guys.
It was a blessing.
A good haircut is a great confidence booster, especially when it's free.
We're looking for jobs, so our parents needs to be good. So it's really good that they did this.
And that's why many gathered at South Park Friday, all in the name of a lost loved one.
I have a lot of emotions, but we're staying busy, so yeah, I'm grateful.
Stylist Taylor Ray Seal and Steve Berg wanted to continue on a tradition set by their friend, Elias Frank Bacon, who would give out free cuts whenever he could.
I believe in sharing my talent with the community. You know, God gave me a talent, I want to share that.
Bacon was shot and killed on this day 3 years ago on the Rocky Boy Reservation. Friends remember him not only for his impressive barber skills, but ability to give back to his community, especially the unhoused.
He could carve in Mount Rushmore in your hair. I mean, he was crazy, had mad barber skills, but he had such a big heart.
Elias always said to me, like, at any moment, this could be us. There's no reason that someone's having to be in this situation versus us. Then I just showed up because it's something he wanted me to do, and of course it felt awesome.
Elias lived by a motto: if you looked good, you'd feel good. And that was the spirit of those in attendance.
Oh, yeah. I feel good.
Yeah, confident.
We were hoping those people would come, and we could take some of Elias's heart and put it into this event and have some people leave with smiles.
Despite tragedy, these stylists hope that this new tradition will continue and give back to those just like Elias once did.
He's my best friend and just my sidekick, really, you know? Yeah. So it sucks to be here without him, but I know he's here in spirit.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Still to come on the MTN 430 News on Q2, as the end of summer break approaches, we'll take you to the football field where high school players are prepping for the season ahead. But first, another beautiful day in Billings. But what can we expect for the weekend? Jason lets us know right after this.